May 27, 2015, from Full Sail University in Orlando, Florida, was NXT on the WWE Network. And to start off the show, we had Sami Zayn's theme music, but it was not Sami Zayn, it was Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens pulled the swerve. So Kevin Owens comes out, he says, you know what? Thanks to me, that's the last time you're ever going to hear Sami Zayn's theme music down here in NXT. He's like, I put him out of commission just like I said I was. And he's like, I told him, and that's on him. So he said, you know, people say I'm a bad guy. He's like, I'm not a bad guy. I'm just a funky feel one. He didn't really say that. That's the song. But he said, I'm not a bad guy. He said, I'm a good man. I provide for my family. That makes me a good guy. And the fans, they were chanting, Cena sucks, Cena sucks. He's like, oh yeah, he's like, I hear you saying Cena sucks, but I never hear you say Sami Zayn sucks, and he sucks too. That's what Kevin Owens said, not me. I think Sami Zayn is awesome. Kevin Owens is awesome too. He was cutting an excellent promo, excellent mic work. You would never know English wasn't his first language. Personally, man, I'll tell you, he's a genius that he could cut such a good promo in his second language. That's pretty impressive. So he was going on, he was talking about Unstoppable, and he said that he's not afraid of Samoa Joe. He said he was giving the fans a present. He said, you know what, I could have just took Samoa Joe out, but I wanted to give you guys that moment, let you bask in it, let you enjoy it, let you go out on a good note for the show. He's like, you know, after what I did to Sami Zayn, just ending his career in NXT, I wanted the fans to be able to enjoy something nice with the, you know, the arrival of Samoa Joe. So I didn't put him out. He's like, I'm not scared. He's like, I'm going to take him anytime, anywhere. He said that he's going to just demolish Samoa Joe. That's what he said. So we'll see. I believe that's going to be happening at next month. I know that they did set the date, but so I think it's coming up in June, but I'll talk more about that later. So anyway, William Regal came out. So Regal came out there and he's like, you're lucky. And he's like, hey, you attacked me. I was just defending myself. And Regal said, all right, well, you know what? That's the only reason why you're still around. You're not suspended. And then Regal started listing off all the guys that ever since you got here, everybody's been leaving on stretchers. He's like, Alex Riley, you know, Adrian Neville. He said Hideo Itami. He's like, whoa, I didn't take out Itami. That wasn't me. Don't put that on me. So he doesn't want credit or blame, rather, for Hideo Itami. But, you know, Regal was listening off to, you know, Sami Zayn, different people. So then Solomon Crowe ended up coming out. So he comes out, he hits the ring. And so then he now was talking to Kevin Owens, saying that you're not a good guy. He's like, you're a piece of crap. And so then Owens made fun of the way he was talking. And so then William Regal ended up setting a match for the main event of NXT. Kevin Owens versus Solomon Crowe. And this is going to be awesome. I cannot wait. And it's coming up here in like 30 minutes they'll be fighting. So that's going to be pretty sweet. I cannot wait for that. And I'll definitely be covering that. That was a pretty cool opening of the show. I said Kevin Owens was awesome on the mic. You know, it was good to see Regal. Big fan of Regal. And then it was cool to see Solomon Crowe come out there. I thought he did pretty good on the mic as well. And I'm definitely excited to see them go at it. I mean, Solomon Crowe is a badass. If you do not know who he is a badass mofo. For real. He's done some crazy stuff on the independent scene. He is hardcore. But I definitely can't wait. Let me know what you thought about the opening. If you saw it, you know, what do you think about Owens' work on the mic? What do you think about Callahan coming down there and challenging him? What do you think about what Owens had to say about Sami Zayn and what he had to say about John Cena? So he was saying that he took a little jab at him, talking about how ridiculous the colors of his merchandise are. And you gotta admit, Cena does have some crazy color combos on his merchandise. But he was wearing a John Cena shirt, so apparently he's a fan. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Definitely interested to read your thoughts and opinions. Alright, so after the opening segment, they then showed the clip of Itami being injured. Well, not exactly, but it was the same clip they had shown previously. But after the clip, they actually had Hideo Itami address that incident, where what you saw in the video was Enzo and Big Cass and Carmella show up to NXT, to show up to Full Sail University there in the parking lot, and then off to the side there was a Tommy being attended to, and Kevin Owens was walking away, and he said, "Oh, that's a shame." So there's sort of inferred that maybe Owens had something to do with it, and that's actually what Regal placed the blame on him during the opening of the show. Owens denied that, and then right here they showed that clip, and then they had a Tommy being interviewed back in, it looked like the training room, and he said, he was attacked, but he didn't see who did it. He doesn't know who did it, but he's, wants to get to the bottom of it. So there will be more developments, I would imagine, in that story as to what happened there between a Tommy and the mystery attacker. In the first match of the evening, we had some singles competition amongst the women's division as Emma and Bayley were going at it, as they're continuing their feud that's been going on for a little while now, as Emma's been picking on Bayley, taking her t-shirts and her headbands and her wrist thingies and all that stuff. And so they've been going at it. And actually, Emma was getting a pretty good response from the crowd there. They still love Emma down in NXT. At least a good portion of them do. So they were going at it. Pretty decent match. The women in NXT are, arguably better than the Diva division up in the main roster. Although there are, obviously... Actually, the thing is the bright spots on the Diva roster are from NXT. They wrestled in NXT and now they've come up, and there's a couple divas that weren't in NXT that are good, but there's a lot of talent in the women's division in NXT, and these are a couple of them. Of course, Emma's been up on the main roster, and it seems like she's been showing up on Raw and SmackDown quite a bit. She was on Raw just this past week, although it was in a backstage segment with Entourage. Anyway, in this match, Emma was in control for the most part. She was taking it to Bayley. Bayley did get in a pretty nice suplex, but then she went up to the ropes. That's when Emma ended up taking advantage of that. She pulled her down, and then she put her in the Emma lock, which is the Muda lock, and that was it right there. She submitted. But then after the match, they ended up, kind of teaming up on her as Dana Brooke was down there with Emma. Of course, now Charlotte would come out to protect Bayley, but she ended up getting double teamed by Dana Brooke and by Emma, and Dana Brooke ended up hitting her with the Samoan Driver. She had her up, like in the fireman's carry, like she's gonna do a Samoan drop, and instead, boom, nails her down in front of her like a sit-down Samoan Driver. So that was a pretty vicious move, pretty impressive move by Dana Brooke. And this feud's going to continue between these four, as they did go at it on Unstoppable, but it looks like they're not done, as we'll probably end up seeing Charlotte Flair and Dana Brooke in some singles action next week, I am guessing. But I thought it was a pretty good segment, I thought it was a pretty good match, and definitely interested to see this feud continue and develop and where it goes. Charlotte Flair is awesome, so it'll be interesting to see Dana Brooke and Charlotte Flair mix it up, if she's going to be able to hang with her in a match. Of course, like I said, they did have that tag team match, and that was pretty cool. But let me know what you think in the comments section below. What you think about, the match between Emma and Bayley? What you think about Emma getting the win over Bayley? What do you think about the feud continue? What do you think about Dana Brooke coming in there and them being dirty after the match, and then Charlotte coming down? What you think about that, and them, teaming up on her? And what you think about Dana Brooke hitting her with that Samoan Driver? That was pretty crazy. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'm definitely hoping that Bayley and Charlotte, get back in the win column, and they can get back on top and definitely, reverse things here and get a little bit of payback, as it were, against Emma and Dana Brooke. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. Definitely interested to read your thoughts and opinions. Alright, so after the match with Bayley and Emma, and then Dana Brooke attacking Charlotte Flair, they showed a little video from backstage at Unstoppable with Baron Corbin and Rhino, as it looks like Rhino wants to continue the feud. Of course, you can check out these clips on WWE.com, as they also had a clip with Zack Ryder, and that was actually played earlier before the match. But then after they showed the clip with Baron Corbin and Rhino, then they ended up showing a little video with Becky Lynch, is they're just kind of giving like somewhat of a background for her and it was something they had actually shown before, but it was pretty cool seeing that again. And I'm pretty sure that's up on WWE.com as well, as they were just showing how Becky Lynch, she's been around the world. She's been in Japan, she's been wrestling around the world with like Sami Zayn and Finn Balor back when they were El Generico and Prince Devitt. And so she's definitely been putting in work. She was the youngest Gaijin to fight over in Japan as a female. And the Gaijin, that's a foreign wrestler, like a non-Japanese wrestler. They call them Gaijin over there in Japan. And they showed also, her when she first showed up to NXT, when she was doing like the Irish jig, and she was saying how she sold herself out. But really, she was just trying, really hard. It's something that, it's difficult. And then you go there and they tell you like, oh, this is what we want you to do. Well, who are you to argue with, the powers that be at the organization, is they're telling you, oh, we want you to go out there and do a jig. Well, you're going to go out there and do a jig because, they're your boss. You know what I mean? It's, especially when you're new, it's not like you can just be like, oh, yeah, I'm doing it this way. They'll be like, all right, well, there's the door. So sometimes, when you're fresh into a new environment and a new organization, you're going to end up doing stuff that you might not be so proud of. And it's probably not going to really get over necessarily because of the fact that, a lot of times they give you freaking ridiculous stuff to do. When actually, if they would just let the people just be their characters, they know their characters better than anyone else. They live those characters pretty much 24/7. Not 24/7, but it's day in, day out, that's for sure. 365, no doubt. But anyway, that was, pretty cool little thing. And then we went into a match, some tag team action with the tag team champs against Mike Rallis and Elias Sampson. The tag team champions coming off of their victory at Unstoppable, thanks to Alexa Bliss. Now they were in this match, and they made, it was a decent little match. Elias Sampson and Mike Rallis actually showed some promise. They were hanging in there, though Blake and Murphy were pretty much in control for the most part. And they ended up getting the win with a frog splash. And it was 1, 2, 3. First set up with the vertical suplex, then the frog splash. And then after the match, they ended up adding insult to injury as they had Alexa Bliss go up to the top rope and she hit the sparkle splash, kind of like a cartwheel splash. And so they're still the champs. I don't even think this was a title match actually, but they were flaunting their belts after the match anyway. So Blake and Murphy get the win, coming off of the win at Unstoppable. Of course, they cheated to win, and Enzo Amore and Big Cass definitely deserve a rematch. So I'm looking forward to that. But they get the win here, and Alexa Bliss, she actually debuted her new digs as she actually was wearing Blake and Murphy's colors there as her outfit matched theirs. So that was an interesting thing, as that was a debut of that outfit. But they get the win, and like I said, they were the high flying moves, that frog splash for the win, and then Alexa Bliss with that sparkle splash. So it'll be interesting to see too if she gets a singles match versus Carmella, as they're probably going to end up going at it before too long in this feud. Maybe even, a 6-man tag versus, with all 3 versus the other 3. So that'll be interesting to see if that ends up happening or not. But let me know what you thought about this match in the comments section below. What'd you think about Rallis and Sampson there? Like I said, I think they, have some promise. Of course, they weren't able to be the tag team champs, but it'd be interesting to see where they move, where they go moving forward. So I thought that was, it was a pretty good match. But I'm not really fans of Blake and Murphy personally. I'm more a fan of Enzo Amore and Big Cass. Although Blake and Murphy, I do appreciate their athleticism. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Definitely interested to read your thoughts and opinions. So after the match, they had a commercial for Elimination Chamber, and then they went backstage as they were interviewing Alexa Bliss, and Blake and Murphy were standing behind her. They interviewed her, and it was actually interesting because as I was watching it, and I gave my live reaction, which you just got done listening to, it's now actually I got a chance to go back and fill in the spots in the overall recap here for the whole show, and wanted to add in the little things in between just to make the whole recap have a little bit more than just what I had initially up there for my initial live reactions. is, I'm not gonna necessarily cover like, oh yeah, they just did a little backstage video. Let's make a video. I just figured might as well just put that all in here in the recap for the whole show. But this interview right here with Alexa Bliss, I thought she did a good job on the mic. She was going after Carmella and Spikes. I was just saying about how maybe they would have a match next week on NXT, and sure enough, that's what they, said right here in this backstage interview. First, Alexa Bliss was saying, well, Carmella is the Prince of Staten Island. She said, you know what Staten Island's famous for? A garbage dump. She said, so Carmella's been around trash her whole life, so no wonder she's with Enzo and Big Cass. And she said, next week I'm going to face her on NXT. So they're going at it next week. And I'll tell you what, Carmella, she's not trash. Neither is Enzo and Big Cass. They are the tag team champions to be, the future tag team champions. The only reason they're not the tag team champions is because Alexa Bliss cost them the NXT tag team championships at NXT TakeOver Unstoppable, and now Carmella is going to get a little bit of payback next week on NXT for her guys, Enzo and Big Cass. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And then we ended up having some singles competition between two awesome NXT wrestlers, Finn Balor and Tye Dillinger. Finn Balor coming off of his win at Unstoppable over Tyler Breeze to earn the #1 contender spot for the NXT Championship, as he's going to be getting a shot at Kevin Owens' title sometime in the very near future. But right here, he was facing off against Tye Dillinger, and Tye Dillinger is a ring veteran. He actually was in a tag team with Dolph Ziggler when Dolph Ziggler was Nick Nemeth and Tye Dillinger was Gavin Spears, and they were actually tag team champions down in Florida. So he is definitely a very talented wrestler. Finn Balor, he's one of the best wrestlers in the entire world, earned his stripes over in Japan, and he is definitely on his way to the top. Can't wait to see him get to the main roster, but right now he's still kicking ass in NXT, and this is one of the reasons why NXT is so awesome. You get to see matches like this, Tye Dillinger and Finn Balor, on a weekly basis. If anything, the one thing I would maybe like to see it actually get a little more time, and I think that's why NXT should go to 2 hours, especially with Ring of Honor coming to Wednesdays, and with TNA, right there, moving to Wednesday. So you got TNA and Ring of Honor over on Destination America up against NXT. This Ring of Honor is going to be out at the same time as NXT, and I think NXT should go to 2 hours, as they'll then compete with both Ring of Honor and TNA. Really, NXT, their roster has got some of the best wrestlers in the entire world. Up and down the roster, the guys keep going up to the main roster, WWE, from NXT, but NXT can hold their own against just about any organization in the world. Not to say anything less of any of those organizations, more to praise how awesome NXT is. But this is a pretty cool match. Tye Dillinger was in control early on, but then Finn Balor, once he got in and then he hit the Coup de Grace, that was it. 1, 2, 3, Finn Balor wins. So that was a pretty cool match. Like I said, these two guys are both really awesome. Excellent ring work. If anything, I would just like to see the match maybe go longer, but it's only an hour show, so there's only so long that they have, even it's things, you only get a couple matches, 4 or 5 matches tops out of an hour, so you really don't have that long in the ring. So if anything, I would like to see it maybe go a little bit longer, but definitely it was pretty cool. They both did a good job. It was good to see Finn Balor get another win. He came out just, without the paint. He really only brings out the war paint for the big matches, and so I'm sure he will be wearing that paint when he goes up against Kevin Owens. But Kevin Owens had a fight later on against Solomon Crowe. But we'll talk about that in a little bit here. But as for this match, though, I thought it was pretty cool. Definitely enjoy seeing Finn Balor work, and also Tye Dillinger. I think he's actually really underrated as well, and it's always good to see him get in the ring and mix it up. Like I said, I thought it was pretty cool. I enjoyed the match. I thought it was a good outcome. Like I said, I'll keep beating the dead horse. If anything, I wish it was longer. I will hope they actually expand the show to 2 hours. But all in all, I thought it was pretty good. Let me know what you think, though, in the comment section below. Definitely interested to read your thoughts and opinions. Let me know what you thought about this match between Tye Dillinger and Finn Balor. What do you think about Finn Balor going forward? Is he's going to be getting a shot at Kevin Owens? That's going to be pretty awesome. Alright, so after that awesome match with Finn Balor and Tye Dillinger, I just want to reiterate how good that was, as both of them are excellent in-ring performers and professional wrestlers. That cannot be overstated. If anything, it just would have been nice to have it be a little bit longer, but with time constraints and everything. So as it were, after the match, they went to a backstage interview with James Jordan. They asked him about his fallout with Tye Dillinger, and he said, I'm past that. He said that he has a new tag team partner, the perfect partner, but he did not reveal who that partner was. Chad Gable was there. He said, are you talking about me? Are my cauliflower ears burning? He's like, why should I pick you? And he said, well, I was a Minnesota State Wrestling Champion. I was in the Olympics. I made it into the I won in the qualification round, although he did lose. But after that, he didn't get a medal. But hey, he was in the Olympics, and there's very few people. That's a very elite group of athletes that have made it to the Olympics, especially as a wrestler. James Jordan, though, he's actually, pretty accomplished amateur wrestler himself, wrestling in the Big Ten at Indiana University. At one time, he was ranked the number 2 heavyweight in the country as an amateur. So he's definitely no stranger to amateur wrestling as well. And of course, both these guys wrestled before on NXT. Chad Gable had lost to Tyler Breeze. And then James Jordan, he's lost to the Wyatt family. But anyway, so we'll see what happens moving forward. Chad Gable, he gave him his towel after James Jordan called him Kegel. And we'll find out who is James Jordan's tag team partner. Let me know what you think in the comments section below about that. I thought it was pretty cool, though. It's always good to see, more talent coming up. NXT, that's what makes it so awesome, is all the young up-and-coming talent. It's definitely pretty cool that they do that to, develop guys and give them a chance to shine. NXT, though, right now, they've got so many good wrestlers, so much talent there. It's just been awesome. It's been awesome for a long time, and it just continues to be a really good, wrestling organization that almost, if it wasn't, ran by WWE, it would stand on its own as probably the number 2 or 3 organization. Of course, that's an argument you can make, and it depends on whether you count all the wrestling organizations around the world or just in America. That's a whole nother discussion. But anyway, I thought this was, it was a pretty cool little backstage thing. It's always good when they have backstage stuff. It gives you more of a, inclusive feel to the show. So I thought that was pretty good. And that was kind of a theme throughout, as they were showing those backstage clips, from people's reactions from Unstoppable. Like I said, you can check those out on the WWE.com. But up next, we had the main event, as we had 2 huge stars from the independent scene who are now NXT tearing it up, especially Kevin Owens, as he's been setting the world on fire, blowing up and breaking the internet. He showed up on Raw and power bombed John Cena, and he's the NXT champion, and here he was going against Solomon Crowe in a non-title match. So earlier in the evening, when they started off, Owens was in the ring cutting a promo. Solomon Crowe came out, he challenged him, and so they were going at it, and I was very happy to see this as the main event of NXT, as these 2 guys are legends on the independent scene, and it is awesome to see them at NXT, and it's going to be great to see them make it up to the main roster sooner than later, as these 2 guys are very talented. And in this match, Kevin Owens fighting dirty. He didn't want any part of Solomon Crowe right straight up. He went right out to the outside of the ring, and then he just pulled some dirty tricks as he used the outside to get a little hardcore. Of course, Solomon Crowe is used to getting hardcore, but he ended up, using the outside to his advantage. Kevin Owens did, and he ended up taking advantage of this match, and early on he took control. He was just beating on him. It got ugly. He was just beating on him. As you could see, he was trying to send a message to Samoa Joe. And Solomon Crowe, to his credit, he was taking that beating. He took one hell of a beating from Kevin Owens. This match was brutal. It was physical. He was just going off on him. It was crazy. It's like he's been just dealing out the punishment to everybody in NXT, and tonight was no different, as he was just freaking laying him out, just laying into him. It was crazy, and he just kept tossing him to the outside of the ring, and it was just nuts. But Samoa Crowe did end up getting in some offense. He got in some kicks. You know, Kevin Owens was being kind of cocky, and he was telling him, like, show me why you belong here. And he showed him why he belonged there. And Samoa Crowe definitely does belong in NXT. He said he took one hell of a beating. He kept on fighting. Got to give him credit. Definitely want to see more of Samoa Crowe. But once Kevin Owens ended up hitting him with that pop-up power bomb, that was it. 1, 2, 3, Kevin Owens wins. Just moments earlier, Samoa Crowe had got him with a pretty impressive flying knee in the corner, but like I said, once he got him with that pop-up power bomb, that was all she wrote. And he covered him like when Kevin Owens covers you for the pin, he doesn't cover you in any lazy fashion. They're not lackadaisical pins. He really pinned you, and he covered him up pretty good to where that was that. There was no chance of a kick out. And then after the match, Samoa Crowe, he still wasn't giving up. He still had some fight left in him, as he was just kind of clawing at Kevin Owens' boot. And Kevin Owens was like, alright, you want some more? I got you. He tossed him back outside the ring like a rag doll at this point, after taking that vicious pop-up powerbomb. And Samoa Crowe, like I said, to his credit, he never gave up. He kept on fighting. He is one tough son of a bitch, but Kevin Owens, he is just vicious. He's the champion, and he's been out for blood, and he was looking to end Samoa Crowe. He had him in position. He was about to powerbomb him onto the edge of the ring apron, but then Samoa Joe came out, and he saved Samoa Crowe. So Samoa Joe comes out to save Samoa Crowe. Kevin Owens backed up off of him. He let him down. He let him go. He hadn't quite picked him up yet. He just had him like between his legs there in position. But, you know, jumping into the ring, he actually laid down the NXT Championship belt on the mat, pretty much as a challenge to Samoa Joe. He'd been talking pretty big. He'd been talking pretty tough at the opening of the show about Samoa Joe. And he laid down the belt as if to issue a challenge saying, hey, you want the belt? Come get the belt. Well, Samoa Joe does want that belt, and he came out to the ring. But once he came out to the ring, he came and jumped up on the ring apron. Well, Kevin Owens just grabbed his belt, and he hightailed it out of there once again, just like at Unstoppable. And he said at the beginning of this night that he was like, hey, I'm not scared of Samoa Joe. I was just giving you guys, that moment, and I'm not afraid. I didn't run because I'm scared. Well, what's his excuse here? What was his excuse? How come he ran here? He wouldn't even get as close as he had gotten at Unstoppable. He got out of there before Samoa Joe and him had a chance to tussle. They didn't even get really face to face. He just grabbed the belt and ran away. And he said, you know what? He pointed at Samoa Crowe. He says, that right there, that's a message to you. That's what I'm going to do to you. He's like, I'm giving you a warning. I'm giving you a chance. I'm going to do that to you if you don't get out of here. So Kevin Owens does not want any part of Samoa Joe. You don't issue challenges. You don't issue a warning to Samoa Joe. He's just trying to scare him off because he doesn't want to face him. He didn't want to face Sami Callihan. He didn't want to face Samoa Crowe. Heads up. He had to go outside the ring. He had to fight dirty. He couldn't just beat him straight up. So what's up with that, Kevin Owens? How tough are you? I mean, you're such a tough guy, but you don't want to fight Samoa Joe. Well, they are going to fight before long, and he's going to have to fight Cena. Maybe that's his excuse, and say, I fought a hard-fought match against one of the toughest men from the independent scene, the king of the death matches, Samoa Crowe. Of course, that's Sami Callihan, but Samoa Crowe here in NXT. And then he's like, I got John Cena on Sunday, he's U.S. champion, he's John Cena. I can't, be fighting Samoa Joe in between. I'm fighting so much, Is that his excuse? Is that what he's going to say? Well, we'll see. But, it won't be long before Samoa Joe gets his hands on Kevin Owens, and that is going to be freaking awesome. I cannot wait. But I thought this match, though, was pretty cool. It's Samoa Crowe and Kevin Owens were mixing it up. Kevin Owens, man, he was just vicious. And it was pretty much all Kevin Owens. Samoa Crowe did get some offense in, and I would like to see Samoa Crowe in some more action, hopefully sooner than later. I hope that he doesn't end up sidelined because of this match, although he did not take that power bomb to the ring apron, so he should be alright. So hopefully he's going to be back, like I said, next week maybe, or the week after. Like I said, NXT, with only an hour, they don't get to showcase everybody. They got so much talent. Like, I wish they would go to 2 hours. That would be awesome. But it was pretty cool seeing this match. It was like a dream match, seeing these two guys go at it. It was definitely awesome seeing this on NXT. And definitely looking forward to more of this, as NXT is just awesome. It just continues to deliver week in, week out. It's just a great, great show, and definitely worth the price of admission of getting the WWE Network. And the thing is, it's something you get along with the pay-per-views every month and everything else. It's just, NXT is awesome. And things are going to be heating up even more so. As good as it's been, it's just going to get better, especially with Ring of Honor coming to Wednesday nights and TNA. So it's just going to get better and better from here. Like I said, I thought this was awesome. I hope they go to 2 hours. We could get, longer matches and more matches, and they could be showcasing more of the talent each and every week. We did see, some backstage stuff too, where they were showing some guys who are going to be coming up. But anyway, for this match, though, I thought it was pretty cool. Let me know, though, what you thought about this match between Kevin Owens and Samoa Crowe. I thought it was awesome. Let me know what you thought. What did you think about Samoa Joe coming out there? I thought that was pretty cool. I would like to see them actually have some kind of physical altercation, although I don't mind that they're making us wait. I mean, good things come to those who wait. So I'll be patient. I'll wait, and it's going to be awesome once it does go down. It just makes it all that much better once it actually does happen. So that's going to be pretty cool. But as for the show, I thought it was a good show. As always, NXT is awesome, and this was actually one of the better shows of a good show. So this is definitely a pretty sweet episode, and I would definitely recommend going and checking it out on the WWE Network if you haven't already. But if you have already, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Definitely interested to read your thoughts and opinions. Thank you very much for listening. It is appreciated.